All right, we are live and we are recording, and today we are talking about fluorite. Fluorite is your mental clarity bestie. Bestie. Um, Fluorite is one of those focus kind of crystals, and you can't really um you can't really see it, but I'm working on that. Maybe by next week we'll have a solution to that. But fluorite is your go-to for mental clarity, right? For focus. It can also help you just kind of unscatter yourself, kind of similar to oregonite a little bit, right? But fluorite comes in a whole variety of colors. It's purples, greens, blues, there's pinks. It's just gorgeous. It's very transparent, so you can see through it. Very seldom will you see it get darker than that. It does come darker than that every once in a while, but fluorite's the one that when you're just having a hard time focusing, right? Because there's a lot of things going on. Its specialty isn't so much separating your thoughts and organizing them. It's more about allowing you to focus. So allowing you to work through what you need to work through, right? Pick a lane and stay in it. And that's kind of what fluorite does for you. It helps you stay in that lane. So you're not going off on all these random thought, you know, curves that we tend to go off on. It kind of helps you just pick a lane and stay in it. Um Fluorite, we will talk about more. We're going to get back into fluorites in the individual colors and types of fluorites as we get further along in the crystals. So, right now, we're just going to talk about the overall basics. Fluorite forms in hydrothermal veins in the earth. So it crystallizes, over all those millions of years. But it's born from fluorine rich fluids that cool down and solidify in those rock cavities, which is why you find it in cubic clusters. So I have one here you can actually see all the cubes on. And I'll get some better pictures to help you see those better. But uh, fluorite forms, and that's the structure of the crystal, is that cube, or otherwise known as octahedral formations. Fluorite is a fairly soft rock. It's a 4 on the Mohs scale. So that means that you're not going to be able to scratch it with your fingernail, but anything stronger than your fingernail, you could probably scratch it with. You can scratch it with like a ballpoint pen. It's fairly soft. So you're going to want to be mindful of what other rocks you're keeping it with if you're carrying it in your pocket or something like that. It also, you don't want to leave it wet. It's okay to rinse it if you need to, but just like with all the other rocks, make sure that it dries, because if it sits in water too long, it can start to break down. It's oftentimes banded and multicolored. It is different colors in there, and that has to do with the different minerals that are present when it's forming. Its composition is calcium fluoride, CaF2. It's got a viscous or a glassy surface to it. It's transparent, sometimes translucent. You can't quite see all the way through it, but if you shine a light up to it, that light is still going to come through it. It's got a density of 3.18 grams per centimeter cubed. And it is just one of those really cool rocks that we all love, right? It helps you to kind of cut through that mental fog, right? What happens when we get in a place where we're like, okay, I need to do this, but you're just like, you're stuck. You're thinking about this instead, and you're thinking about that, and you just can't quite get that focus. Fluorite's going to help you clear that up so you can actually see what it is you should be focusing on. It allows you to stay on task. It helps you to stay on task. So, a good place to put fluorite is by your work area, right? Another good place to put fluorite is anywhere that you tend to procrastinate. So, like, for me, it's the dishes. I just don't like doing the dishes. I never have. So I have fluorite in my window right above my sink, I've got it sitting on the ledge next to it. And it does help me to go in there and just focus on getting the dishes done. Because if I can make the dishes I can make a sink full of dishes last all day, guys. It's so bad, right? The the fluorite, if I acknowledge that my fluorite's there and I'm like, "All right, fluorite, let's do these dishes," I'm able to sit there and concentrate and actually wash the whole sink full of dishes and be done with it, and it's amazing. Instead of spending my whole day trying to find anything to do other than the dishes, I can go in there and just get them done, right? And it's so funny because we all have our own things that we procrastinate doing. And so try it in your area of procrastination. Let me know how it works because I know it's definitely helped me with finishing tasks that I need to finish that I just don't want to, right? It also helps you with your intuition, your gut instinct. Your fluorite, you can keep that around and it's going to help you to feel that intuition. So you're going to feel that and it's going to come through as a more clear thought or however your clairs communicate with you, a more clear vision. It's going to be something that you're not going to want to second guess so much. You're going to be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense," instead of, "Well, I'm thinking about that, but I just don't know." That fluorite's going to help you get that clarity from that intuitive knowledge that we receive. And it's just like, "Oh yeah, okay. I get this. Let's do this," right? It also can help to calm you down and kind of soothe your anxiety. So especially like a worry stone or a pocket piece, you can just sit there, like a tumbler or something you can put between your hands and just rub on it. Can definitely help to soothe anxiety and just kind of calm you down so that you can focus. It's often thought to be one of the better ones to use when you're meditating and working with your higher self and your higher guidance because fluorite allows us to see things clearly, right? It allows us to focus and see things clearly. So it's super great when you're doing your inner work to use fluorite to assist you with that. Um, it also can help to put your bubble up. It helps with your bubble. So it can shield because its energy wants you to focus. It basically acts as a bubble to bounce off distractions, right? You can take your fluorite and if you're going somewhere where there's going to be a lot of energy and a lot of people, maybe you're going to the coffee shop to work and you want to sit and work on your computer. There's a lot going on in a coffee shop. And as humans, we get curious and we hear somebody say something. So then we're distracted because we want to hear the rest of their conversation or whatever, or you see somebody doing something over there and you're like, "Oh, what are they doing?" And why? Because it's just a distraction, right? So your fluorite can help bubble those distractions and allow you to keep it just kind of bounces everybody else's energy back to them. So it's not coming to you. So you're not drawn into that conversation that you started to overhear or what that person's doing over there. You've just got that ability to focus going on for you. It bounces all that back, sends it back to its return to sender. So keep it on your desk. Keep it where you tend to procrastinate. Use chakra work. Your fluorite's great for your third eye, for communicating with your higher self, for seeing things clearly, right? Um, so sunlight can fade your chlorite or your fluoride. Bleh. Sunlight can fade your fluorite over time. It does take a long time, but it's not ideal to keep it in the sun because the sun will bleach the color out. Um, Affirmation. My mind is clear, organized, and ready for anything. I trust my intuition and making decisions with ease. I am focused, grounded, and protected. And then our journal prompts, which I'll get this loaded up for you guys. Um, but our journal prompts, mental clarity. What's one area in your life where you feel scattered or confused? And what does it feel like to get clarity about that? Intuitive knowing. When you quiet the noise and you listen to your intuition, what does your intuition tell you about the situation that you're currently in? And then your last prompt is, what's one thing you've been meaning to do but keep putting off? And what's the first small step to take? The first right next step. So then I just want to remind everybody, right? You do not have to have it all figured out. You do not have to be perfectly organized. You do not have to be perfectly scheduled. Um, you just have to show up for yourself. So when you show up for yourself, those other things, they all start falling into place for you little bits at a time. It's not a light switch. It doesn't happen overnight. Clarity and what we want out of our lives and our future, it comes from showing up. It comes from being consistent. It comes from showing up for yourself, for being there and for dealing with the daily things, right? The difficult things, the easy things, the fun things, and the not so fun things. When we trust the process, I guess. Trust the process. You've got to trust the process. There is not a single road in this entire world that is smooth. There's always going to be bumps in the road. So just trust the process and know that those things are temporary, right? They're not going to last forever. And if you want things to change, just start making those changes, one tiny little change at a time. That's all it takes is just one tiny little change at a time. But if you sit there and be complacent and compliant and you don't do anything to change the way your life is going, then it will not change. It is up to you. Your future is up to you, and it can be whatever you want it to be. So take the time for yourself to really get to know yourself and figure out what you want and what direction you want to go in. And be honest with yourself about the bad days. And remember, it's all temporary. And it's all just a very tiny part of our whole big story. Um, that's about it for fluorite. Fluorite, fluorite. Your mental clarity.